Hello, and welcome to the Valley. Today, I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Old Town Winchester Day. I'm sitting next to Brady Cloven. He is addicted now to in-person, pre-recorded conversations. No more will we ever go back to Zoom, I don't think. Will we, Brady?
No, can't go back. It doesn't smell as good in my house with 15 cats.
Stop with the cats. I can't with the cats.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I think it's fun being out and about and seeing the different shops and what they have and just having people come in. It feels alive, which is a lot nicer than sitting behind a screen.
I always love doing these in person for just that reason. Like, I had not been in, so today we're sitting at Panhandle Apothecary on the Old Town Walking Mall. I had not been in here before. And you walk in the door, the smell is amazing. It's like a hug. As weird as that sounds,
yeah.
I feel like it makes for a better show when you're sitting in the place that you're actually talking to or talking about.
Yeah, no, I agree. It gets you in the zone. I have come in here a couple times handing out flyers, and I never want to leave. So I'm glad that we get to be here for a dedicated amount of time.
Sarah Waycaster is joining us. She is the operations manager and the co-owner of Panhandle Apothecary. Thank you for letting Brady and I invade your space for a bit.
Thank you so much for having us, or me, I guess.
And then we have the other co-owner. We're calling her, what are we calling her? Should we have to refer to her in some way. Is that Mom?
It's Mom.
Yeah, quiet mom. I've never met a quiet mom. I'm certainly not a quiet mom.
Only in this instance. Only in this instance.
She's not quiet if you come into the store and say, hey.
No, she's very friendly. She's just...
She's mic averse. So, Sarah, tell me a little bit about Panhandle Apothecary. What do you do here? How long have you been doing it? Give me some history.
So we are centered around holistic health and wellness. We were founded in 2018. Mom here, Lorraine, she needed a surgery, and she's allergic to almost all narcotics. And so we started experimenting in her kitchen back when CBD really wasn't mainstream, just trying to find something that would work for her pain management for after she had surgery. And it started to work for her, and then we started to feed it to our friends and family as guinea pigs, and it worked for them. And it really just blossomed from there. Shortly thereafter, she ended up working in conjunction with a doctor's office in Berkeley Springs, Unity Family Healthcare, and she did consultations out of a spare office that they had. So she really was able to tailor the Panhandle Cannabis Company, which is what we started out as solely, to really better fit the community's needs. And then from there, it really grew into multiple locations, and now we work with Dr. McCusker at Shenandoah Oncology and a few other doctors with various offices around the Northern Virginia and Eastern Panhandle area. We've recently gotten in doing different talks, seminars, kind of thing.
It's one of those topics that people either think they know about and they're wrong, or they don't know about and they're afraid, so they have these ideas that also are not right.
There's a lot of just downright wrong information out there, and then there's a lot of people who are curious and they don't know where to start. And so we try to be a place where the community can come and learn to stand on their own 2 feet when it comes to holistic health and wellness. A lot of patients come to us with questions from the oncology department, from Cumberland Valley Breast Cancer Association. My mother is a breast cancer survivor, and she sends people to us as well. A lot of older clients come to us looking for help with anything from like neuropathy to hormone imbalances, nausea, side effects from chemotherapy, and then just people who really like tea or want to take control back of their everyday health and wellness. And so they come here and they do either like a workshop or they get tea and we talk to them about herbs. We really want to be a resource to the community so that people can go forward in their life and their health journey and really be able to take the knowledge that they have gained here and apply it anywhere. We treat the community like it's our family, and we want our family to be happy and healthy. So any way we can help with that.
It's really cool because you're truly embracing the phrase apothecary. We hear apothecary, and I think we all know what it is supposed to be, but it's become one of those hip terms that doesn't necessarily mean you're doing what it's supposed to be doing, but you're actually doing that here.
Especially more lately when we added the herbs, when we opened the Winchester location, because the one in Berkeley Springs we opened first, and it was small to start, but it is rapidly growing. And now there's a cafe in the back, and we have all of the functional mushrooms, things things like lion's mane for memory, cordyceps for women's health, and energy boosting, stuff like that. We have all of that in Berkeley Springs, but here in Winchester, we have over 100 different loose medicinal herbs that people can blend their own tea. They can add it to their cooking. Like frankincense resin can be burned as an antidepressant incense, which is pretty cool. And a lot of people, there's these little nuggets of information that I feel like a fortune cookie all the time. People come in and they'll strike up a conversation, and I just get so excited because there's so many different options for everybody. There's never a one size fits all.
And that's not even true when you're talking about pharmaceuticals. There's
No,
never...
especially. My favorite part about working with herbs is you don't have a 40-minute section of side effects that you have to listen to that go along with it.
Yeah, they're longer
Yes.
than the actual commercial. Sometimes you
Yeah.
you finish listening to them and you think, I think I'd rather have whatever's wrong with me than
Exactly.
have to deal with all the side effects that come
Yeah,
from
like-
taking the pill that's going to make that not be the case.
You won't have the sniffles anymore, but you may get skin lesions, you know what
Right.
I mean? Like
Right.
it's just for something simple, a sore throat or respiratory illness where it's seasonal allergies, you can absolutely go to the store and get like a bottle of Dayquil, and you're putting who knows what into your body, or you could come here and get a cup of tea that not only does it just taste fantastic, but there's also multiple health benefits for each tea that we have, which I don't know if you've looked around, but there's
There's a lot. I am going to take a ton of pictures and put them on Instagram. So everyone who's listening today can go check out the Valley Today's Instagram page. And I'm sure you will do the same,
Oh,
Brady,
yes.
and check out Friends of Old Town because it is amazing to walk. I love these jars. I am
Yeah.
obsessed with these jars.
They definitely help make the place feel more like home in here. And you said earlier that you come in and you don't want to leave, but I work here and I've never been able to say that about a place that I've gone to work.
Right?
I spend more time here than I do at home, I think, and I love every second of it. I was able to bring my daughter to work with me for the first couple years of her life until she's almost 2, so this shop's full of glass, and that stopped very quickly.
Dangerous combo.
Yeah, so she's home with her dad while I'm here able to try to make a difference in the community.
And then you have a ton of other things. Like you have the
Oh, absolutely.
candles. There's a lot of other things that you offer
There
here.
is something for everyone in this store. There's so much in here that it's hard to come up with a phrase that encompasses it all, because we have everything from gift ideas. Actually, just this past Mother's Day, there was a gentleman who came in and his son was blind, and they took the time to stand at our intention table and build an intention jar where his son was able to touch and feel and smell all of the different components that he put into this intention jar for Mother's Day. So it was an incredible thing to watch. And it just had never occurred to me that something so simple could make such a difference in someone's life. And it didn't really hit me until I got in the car to go home, and it really weighs on a person because
Right?
you get to see firsthand the difference that you make in the community. And it's truly humbling, especially when people come in or patients come in and they have issues that they've been dealing with for a long time and they haven't been able to find relief. Like we have a lot of people with neuropathy come in, and as I mentioned
And
earlier,
that's very painful.
it is. And as I mentioned earlier, when we started the Panhandle Cannabis Company, we still own that brand and we still carry those products. But they work phenomenally well for anything from neuropathy to arthritis pain, muscle pain. The list is endless. For
Old
the
age
amount-
pain. I have a lot of old age
Right,
pain.
right. We have something for everything. And to be able to see people come in and leave feeling better, because that's truly sometimes how fast it happens. There was a gentleman who came in one day to have tea with some friends, and he wasn't very old. Like, he was in his 50s. He came in,
Oh, I love
he was
you.
using...
He wasn't very old. He was in his 50s. She's
No,
my new
that's-
favorite one, Brady.
that's-
She can come back on the show anytime.
That's not old. That's not old. That's just experience.
Right? Yes.
So he came in and he was walking with a cane, and he sat in the chair, and I brought some of our samples over to him and I said, look, try this and you'll notice a difference before you leave. And skeptical as
Right.
always. And I was like, just, you have nothing to lose. If anything, you either A, wasted 30 seconds, or B, you get some relief. And it's a win-win for you. You're here anyway, having tea with your friends. So he listened and he tried it, and the man left not more than 45 minutes later after the tea party was finished and everything. It was actually a tea ceremony. We do Kung Fu Cha tea ceremony. And so they were here for a private one. And 45 minutes roughly after I had that conversation with him, he left walking upright with no cane.
Wow.
So it truly is, like, I go home and sometimes I cry on my way home because I am so moved with the amount of a difference that we're able to make, that I'm able to see. Actually, it's very rewarding.
And then you mentioned too, the flip side of that is you don't have to be interested in any of that. You can be the peak of health. You can not need or want any of this and still come in and find really cool things as gifts or for yourself.
Absolutely. There is no shortage. We've got anything from like little trinkets to fantastic gifts.
I need to know what the candle is that you're burning because it has to come home with me because it smells really good.
They're really hard to keep in stock, honestly, because that happens a lot. People come in and the first thing they ask is, where's the shelf of candles? But we have everything from crystals to antique tea sets, different size tea jars. The packaging is just gorgeous. And then, of course, I mentioned the intention table that we do. It's interactive. You can come in and blend your own tea from the herbs in the back. We have goat's milk products that are actually come from a farm in Berkeley Springs. The woman milks the goats herself and makes all of the products in-house, and we stock those. We try to work as local as possible, so we have different local artists. We have a gentleman who makes these beautiful little air plants. We have honey as well. We carry Savannah bee honey, and they do a ton of work for honeybee habitat restoration, so we're super proud to carry their brand. And each honey is different, wildly different. So you have to taste each one because it's like wine tasting.
Yes.
They're phenomenal. We have a Tupelo honey that is my personal absolute favorite. And the best way I can describe it to someone is it tastes like what Winnie the Pooh eats. I would imagine.
I want it now.
It tastes like what honey is supposed to taste like, what you remember honey tasting like as a child. But it's very sweet. Oh my goodness. But it is one of the best honeys I've ever had in my life.
So where can people find you? Tell me where they can find you.
So we are at 15 South Loudon on the Walking Mall next to Wilkins Shoe Store. And we have another one in Berkeley Springs. We are open 7 days a week, 10 to 5, Monday through Thursday, and 10 to 6, Friday, Saturday, 10 to 4 on Sundays.
And do you have website, social media, any of that sort of thing?
All of the above. So we have a website, panhandleapothecary.com, and we're under Panhandle Apothecary on Facebook as well. Our email is panhandlecbd@gmail.com, and our phone number rings straight through to Lorraine, and she'll pick up every time because she hardly ever sleeps. As small business owners very rarely sleep.
Right.
But no, she's usually up even at 3 a.m. Her phone number or the shop phone number is 304-258-4316.
Do you encourage people who maybe have an idea or have no idea to just come in and say, hey,
Oh, absolutely.
I have a question about, or can you explain how this works? Or my dad has bad knees and I'd really like for him to look at something other than what he's doing. You're completely open to having those conversations and doing some of that education.
Yeah, absolutely. And that you just described about 90% of the day. People come in from the minute we open to the minute we close, and sometimes even after we close, they'll be pulling on the door and I'll just open it and let them in because I'm here anyway. But we have people who come in with all kinds of questions. Anything from I'm trying to balance my hormones, I'm tired all the time, weight loss, blood sugar, blood pressure, anything under the sun, I've heard it. And I love it when people come in and ask questions because I don't care if you don't buy from us because I want you to do what's best for your health. So even if you're halfway across the country and you have a question about something, send me a message.
That's what Facebook and websites are for.
Exactly, because I want you to make the best decision that's going to impact you in the most beneficial way. So if you have a question, I don't care if it's 3 a.m., somebody will probably get back to you, just knowing how our sleep schedules are. That's happened before. We've had people all the way from St. Thomas. In the U.S. Virgin Islands.
Wow. And
we ship to all 50 states, so there's no
limit.
No bad questions, I guess I should say, because we are here to be that resource for the community, and that's first and foremost why we're here.
Thank you for taking the time to educate me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
We're going to take a quick break, and as is the norm, we're going to come back, and Brady's going to give us a rundown of the 3,000 things that are happening in Old Town in the month of June. So hang in there. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Hello everyone, I'm Stephen.
And I'm Kim. We would love to meet you at our new Winchester Cider Works tasting room on East Piccadilly Street in Old Town.
That's right, we'll be downtown with great ciders, wine, food and even beer. And the best part is, we're so excited to be part of this brand new passport program where you just need 4 stamps from Winchester area breweries and cideries to get some great free swag.
So pop by our tasting room and we'll get you a passport. You can find out more information at winchesterbrewtrail.com.
Welcome back to the Valley. Today I am your host, Janet Michael. It is Old Town Winchester Day, so I am sitting at Panhandle Apothecary. You get to meet Sarah in the first segment of the show. Brady Cloven is sitting here with me. He is Executive Director for the Friends of Old Town. It took us nearly 20 minutes just to figure out what all is happening in the month of June in Old Town Winchester.
Yeah, we had a nice little breather in May, but June is coming at us very fast. But it's exciting. With June comes the first Friday.
Yes.
On June 6th. This year, we're trying to take a different approach. We're trying to do themed First Fridays. One, just to have a little more cohesion to them, but then two, also it gives all the different businesses a chance to actually create a special.
Which is nice. They can get engaged.
Yeah.
They can really commit to something.
It makes the marketing a lot easier to get everybody together. But June 6th, our music is going to be the Silvertones Swing Band, a fan favorite in Old Town. So they will start at 5:30, and then we're going to have the theme be Swingin' First Fridays, so like a 50s themed, and the restaurants have already started putting some stuff together to do some 50s themed offerings. So that should be pretty exciting. Yeah. And then actually the next day, we don't do it, but it'll be happening, is the 11th annual Hot Blossom Beer Festival. So there will be over 30 breweries represented downtown along the mall. So make sure you get your tickets. I think they're still online and selling.
And you get a deal if you buy them before certain dates, so double check and get them sooner rather than later.
Yep, and I believe this year's theme is Optimus Prime, like the Transformers, so definitely get out there for nostalgia's sake. And then the week after that, just keeping it rolling, June 14th is going to be our Kids Fest, which is outside on the Walking Mall, and that right now has over 20 vendors. Our great sponsor is Dr. Ashley Larson from Rise Orthodontic Studio over in Creekside, so she's the presenting sponsor. I think it's going to be really big this year. Kids Fest is well loved throughout all.
It is one of the most popular events, I think, that you hold every year.
What we try to do with this one is make it very interactive, so it's not just 20 booths.
You're not just walking around looking
Right.
at stuff.
It's, hey, come sign up for our summer camp. I've heard some things that are being planned already are digging through sand for crystals. There's going to be some dinosaur exhibits. We're going to have a dunk tank where I did confirm somebody in the city will be there in the dunk tank alongside of me. So that should be fun. And then Chick-fil-A will be downtown. We're going to have some specials from restaurants and merchants too. It's just going to be a great time. We're going to have some lawn games. I was trying to go for a bounce house this year. I don't know that I'm going to take that on, so maybe next year. And it's going to happen rain or shine. Hopefully it'll be shine.
And the kids don't care.
Right, no.
Honestly, the kids, it's for the kids, and
be
they're
nice.
just as fine slopping around in their rain boots as they are in the sunshine.
So it'll be good. And then the weekend after that, Hood Love is facilitating their Juneteenth celebration. That's going to be on Saturday the 21st. So they're getting some music together, and they're going to host that, I believe, on the courthouse lawn.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so June is full of events, which is nice. It's, I think,
School is out. It's one of those that really does kick off the summer. Everybody says Memorial Day is the beginning of summer, but it's really not until you get into June
Right.
when school is fully closed that summer really starts.
yeah, it's exciting stuff happening in Old Town. And then we still have our normal community meeting, which is going to be the third Wednesday of each month at Brewworks from 3 to 4. I believe June's is going to be focused on what we can do as a Main Street program to help with public safety, perception of public safety. So reaching out to some partners in the city they want to come talk to, just to hear what's going on, what we can do. A lot of what Main Street programs can do is help increase traffic, foot traffic downtown, and how that can help with just extra eyes on everything.
Oh, yeah.
So that's our goal here. And then one really fun thing that has come up in between our episodes is we have announced a mural program. We are helping facilitate a mural on the south end of the mall. It's going to be over the Thinker Toys building.
I love that.
Yeah, it's going to be so right across from the splash pad, facing the actual mall, so not just on the side of the building. But we have issued a call that is open until June 10th where artists from around the region can submit their work, their resumes, and then it'll go to a committee that will then judge the work and then find the right artist. We're partnering with the John and Janice Wyatt Foundation. They're great. They have a program for childhood literacy, and that is what this mural is going to be based around. But part of our judging committee is making sure that whatever art does go on there still keeps the character,
The vibe of Old Town.
Yeah.
I love the murals. I think that every exposed wall of every building on the Walking Mall should have a mural on it, because what kind of a wacko doesn't like to see art painted on the side of a building? Because it's just happy and it's great, and it doesn't, in my opinion, it doesn't take away from the character of the building. When you're walking down the mall and you see this big brick wall, that's not the most inviting thing, but you see all these happy colors, and maybe in this case it's kids reading out of storybooks or whatever the concept concept ends up being. I just think it makes everything just so much more happy.
Yeah, and it's a good tool for us to help with tourism too. I think if you think of other cities, even like a Harrisonburg, like they have these beautiful murals that people will go and
They have
find.
trails,
which actually we're working on too. We're starting to put together all the art in Old Town so you can go on a public art walk. Yeah, it's good stuff. And I do want to say on the episode though, I heard the other day that actually John Wyatt passed away.
He did.
I just do want to say that our hearts go out to Janice and the rest of the family, but we'll definitely be keeping that in mind with the mural too.
The passion that he has for campaign for grade level reading, that's something that United Way now is administrating.
Yeah.
It is just amazing the positive effect that his foundation has had on the children in our community.
We did a fundraiser last night. You and I were talking, actually. We partnered with Alamo Drafthouse Winchester, and we showed The Iron Giant. One, because it's a favorite movie of mine, but we're also trying to make things more approachable for families. We've talked about that this entire time that I've been in this role. But one of the things that we talked about last night was like, why The Iron Giant? And it's at its core, the movie is sure about fear, misunderstanding, right? But it's also about kindness, compassion, and choosing to be a friend, right? And that's what John Wyatt was.
Right.
He chose to be the person who was a friend and compassionate and kind and give his life to these causes, and it shows. So I'm glad that we were able to get this partnership and work with the foundation to get this done.
How has the response been to the history of us?
Oh my God, great.
People are scanning them QR codes and
Yes.
learning about our buildings downtown.
They love it, and we've been able to highlight it on social media too, where it's just all these pictures we have with the buildings from before with what they are now is incredible. And it's such a low effort thing that is so much fun. Like I was even talking to my therapist about it, and she took her family down to it. She goes, was this you guys? And I was like, yeah, actually it was. Misty over at the Old Townist too has been putting these great videos together on her own time.
I
too,
had
where
no
she's
idea,
sharing
but
it,
I've
too.
seen those. If
Yeah.
you're not following either Misty Weaver or Old Townist, you have got to go do that because she is just the most creative and shares all of this really cool fun stuff.
Yeah, and the next quarter of research is underway. So we have our committees meeting at Hanley Archives, and they will have that released. And then we already have quarter 3 filled up too. So yeah, people are really excited. I actually am next week talking to Wilkins about their building. So there's a lot of information there.
See, I'm sure Phil's going to be all in for that.
Yes, very much.
Yeah, I have no doubt. So where can people go to stay up to date on all of the things in all of Old Town?
Well, our website is up still. We got
Still.
friendsoftown.org, hasn't been taken away yet, and we keep adding to it. So all these different programs that we have, we're putting different pages on there for that. So that's where you're going to go if you want to join a committee. If any of the stuff that we're doing interests you, there's a form that you can fill out. If you want to be a vendor at any of these events, they are free of charge to vendors. We do have a selection process to make sure that it does fall in
Yeah,
with the
you don't want
theme.
45 jewelry people or whatever.
So that's where you're going to go for all that stuff and all general information. And then the day-to-day stuff, if you follow us on Facebook at Friends of Old Town or Instagram, Friends of Old Town Wink, W-I-N-C, that's going to keep you up to date with what we're doing. And then please come out to those community meetings. Come out into Old Town. We're always out and about. We're getting lunch, we're getting dinner, we're getting coffee. We're here at the Apothecary, so please come out. Just go to Old Town.
Thank you for taking some time.
Yeah, thank you.
I will not be back on Monday because Monday is Memorial Day.
I was going to say, I hope you're
This
not
is the
working.
downside to recording 2 weeks in advance is I have no freaking idea what day it is when I'm sitting down to record. I will be back on Tuesday with a brand new episode of The Valley. Today it is Tourism Tuesday. Justin Kearns and I are going to Uncle Beehive's
I'm
to
jealous.
have ice cream. We haven't done it as you and I are sitting here, Brady, but you have already warned me about how much I'm going to enjoy that. So meet me back here for that on Tuesday, just a few minutes after noon.